Taliban insurgents in Afghanistan have been most active in the south and east, staging attacks against NATO and US troops. Tension was high in Khanna in eastern Afghanistan, where a roadside bomb killed 4 US troops earlier this month. To deal with the violence, President Obama has unveiled a new strategy for Afghanistan that includes sending more troops to the country. The strategy also includes the prospect of trying to persuade moderate insurgents to renounce violence.
There is an uncompromising core of the Taliban. They must be met with force, and they must be defeated. But there are also those who've taken up arms because of coercion, or simply for a price. These Afghans must have the option to choose a different course.
However, some analysts doubt there are many moderate Taliban leaders who would want to pursue reconciliation. Yet Lisa Curtis at the Heritage Foundation in Washington says this strategy might work with the Taliban rank and file.
Yes, it's possible to try to peel off the low levels of the Taliban, people who are maybe fighting for various reasons, whether it's money, fear, maybe even nationalism.
Many analysts agree the effort to split the insurgency is necessary because Taliban fighters are making it impossible for NATO and US forces to reach all elements of Afghan society. Haider Malik is at the Joint Special Operations University.
Right now, USAID and ISAF and Afghan army, they need that room to walk in. And during that time, they have to be very sensitive to the local customs, the Rawaj, the Pashtun Wali, and to some degree, how they infuse it with Islamic law.
Recently, Vice President Biden estimated that 5% of the Taliban can be considered hardcore, while the rest should be persuaded to join the mainstream of Afghan society. And the moderates can be won, says Shuja Nawaz at the Atlantic Council.
By offering them rewards, by offering them a chance to work within government and to order their own affairs, by recognizing their role in their respective regions and providing them the resources so that they can create jobs and opportunities for people.
He says dividing the Taliban is a must over the long run if the fight is to be taken to the smaller, hardcore group.
Having isolated the hardcore Taliban, you will allow the true regional powers who are locals to emerge, and you will be able to provide security enough that they can operate against the hardcore Taliban.
Experts agree the U.S. mission in Afghanistan could take years, but President Obama has also made clear he wants to have an exit strategy. There is no doubt some countries want to see the United States bogged down in Afghanistan, says James Cladd, a South Asia analyst at the National Defense University. But that can change.
But their attitude is probably going to change pretty significantly once they realize that unless they take an active interest in stabilizing the situation in Afghanistan, they may be stuck with the status quo ante, what existed before, which was not good news for China, it was not good news for Russia, it was not good news for Iran.
Experts note that the United States invaded Afghanistan to destroy the Al-Qaida terror network responsible for the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks on the United States. And the Afghan strategy, they say, should hinge on the enduring lesson that countries should not be allowed to provide a safe haven for terrorists. Ravi, Khanna, VOA News, Washington.